Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. This is going to be the second video that's going to be in connection with reloading for the HWM 357 Magnum 38 Special. Our first thing we're going to do is I want to show you where we're going to get our lead for the bullets that we're going to cast to shoot in this gun. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast wheel weight lead, straight wheel weight lead. A lot of people are going to tell you it's not hard enough. I'm not going to get into that, because if you do that, that argument is something that's been ongoing for years, and some people say yes, some people say no. I'll tell you what I know. I've loaded a bunch of it. I've never had leading, and I've never had a problem at all for sure when I powder coat it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with this. But what I wanted to show you was what you can expect to have to go through when you're sorting this lead when you get it from tire shops. Okay, let me. Now, this bucket right here was about up to here full of just raw wheel weights. They had all kinds of stuff mixed in with it, trash, all kinds of different kinds of wheel weights, a couple of 3 different kinds of metals. The one we wanted was the actual wheel weight that was on the snap-on wheel weights, or the stick-on wheel weights that was lead, okay? And that's what these is right here. So you can see we got, I don't know, there's probably 20 pounds of those, probably somewhere in the neighborhood. This bucket would weigh over 100 pounds the way it was when we started, okay? And now you can see it's not, it's up to about right here. It's probably got 30, 40 pounds in it probably. And over here is all of our good snap-on wheel weights. This bucket right here will weigh about 70 pounds. It's probably more than that actually. I ain't going to weigh it because I don't got a scale to set it on. I just got a hanging scale, and I'd have to make something to put it on because that handle would never hold it, believe me. But my biggest thing I wanted to show you about sorting this and say to you about sorting this was there's a big difference in stuff that you can use. Okay, even in these, there's boatloads of them that you can't use that are ferrous metals, that are steel or zinc, and you just can't use them. So you have to pay attention when you go to sort through these, that you make sure you're saving out what you can use but getting out what you can't. And I'm going to go through that a little bit with you on the snap-on wheel weights real quick, because this is again an ongoing thing that people have talked about forever, and it's an argument back and forth amongst people how to check them, how not to check them. You don't need to check them. You can do this, you can do that. Number one, these are, a lot of them have got zinc in them, okay? And if they have zinc in them, you cannot load them. You cannot melt them. You can melt them, but when you try to mix them with lead, it'll destroy your lead. It'll make your lead crystallize, and you won't be able to use it. And even if you could use it, it would be so hard when you shot it, it would probably fragment coming out of the gun. You just can't use zinc to reload, because it's going to mess everything up. Not only in some of the melting pots, zinc will be reactive to the kind of steel that they use in those melting pots, and it will actually eat through the bottom of your melting pot. So you'll have it up good and hot and have this stuff melted, and it's got zinc in it and be going along real good, and all of a sudden a hole burn through the bottom of your melting pot, and you've got 20 pounds, 25 pounds of lead coming out of there at 780 degrees, and nowhere to go with it except all over the place wherever you're working, and that's not good. So let's get to this. All right, first off, I'll show you, these are lead wheel weights. Each one of these is lead wheel weights. You can see some of these are quite large. This is a 6x6 post this is laying on, and it's longer than the post. You can see there's a lot of lead right there in each one of those. I mean, you start thinking about the bullet weights, there's a lot of lead in those, a lot of bullets in those. You know, one of these big ones up here like this big one right here, it's a 4 ounces. You think about how many grains is in an ounce. So how many bullets can you cast just out of this one wheel weight? Of course, now you're not going to get total 4 ounces out of it. Time you melt it down and everything's skimmed off and you get the bracket out, you're probably going to get 3 ounces, maybe 2.75, somewhere around in that range. But you're still going to cast a lot of bullets out of one wheel weight. And I've got a bucket full of them now. Now over here on this piece of wood, are you kidding? There's nothing on this piece of wood except ferrous metals. This is all zinc or steel or plastic. And you'll notice a lot of these look like these. You can't use these. You can use these. If you use these, you'll get good consistent bullet size and shape. You'll get good consistent BHN. People's going to argue over that, and I ain't going to get into it, but I'm telling you, you'll get it. You'll get good consistent pours, and you'll be able to heat all the lead good and even. This stuff over here will drive you nuts. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that have done videos, and they decided they was going to try to cast bullets out of zinc, and like I say, one of them blew the hole out of the bottom of his pot because it was reactive to the metal in the pot, and the other one said you can do it, but the bullets will come out so hard that they're not going to operate in the barrel, and you're going to have real problems because you would destroy a resizer trying to resize bullets made out of solid zinc. It's just too hard. But you got to pay real close attention, and don't let these guys tell you, well, you can look at them and tell. Because look at that top one. Then look at that one. I mean, they're just alike. They look just alike. Same color, same shape, same snap. The only thing that you'll see on some of these is you'll see a ZN. I think you can actually see it on this one. Let me get that up. Maybe you can see it. It's there, I promise. It's just hard to see. But some of them don't have it. Some of them do not see. There's one you can see the ZN on real good. I say real good. I hope it's real good. But some of them don't have that. Some of them just don't have anything on them. Say like for this one right here. It doesn't have any writing on it. All it has on it is a weight, and that's it. And so you have to know what to look for. So, okay, so you say, how do I know what to look for? This will tell you what to look for, okay? Get a pair of angle cutters or a pair of cutters like this. Keep them with you. And my advice is every single one of them that you pull out that you're going to put in your bucket, cut it. See that how those big dents are in there? And that's done pretty much effortlessly with that cutter on any of them. That big dent in that one where I cut it. Now, if you take one of these, and that's not any real pressure at all. If you take one of these right here, it's going to be hard for me to do this one-handed, but we're going to try it. If I put this in this, and I'm squeezing as hard as I can. Now let's take a look. Look at that. Nothing. Not even a good scratch. That's where we were at on it right there. I could take these cutters right here and say this one right here. Again, it's hard to do one-handed, and I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time. But I can take this pair of cutters right here and one-handed snap that lead one right in half. That's the difference in how hard this stuff is. It's crazy how hard it is. And like I said, some of them you can't tell that they're the bad stuff because the good stuff looks a heck of a lot like the bad stuff. And the bad stuff looks a heck of a lot like the good stuff. So what do? A lot of guys will tell you after you've been doing this for a while, you'll get so good at it, you don't need to cut them, to use the cutters anymore. You can pick them up and tell. Now, I will say this. Long time. I've done hundreds of pounds of lead. I've sorted through them for a long, long time. And I have let some slip by me that were zinc. And thank goodness somebody else was with me that was paying attention too and saw that I let one slip by. But that was years and years and years ago. And I won't say that I couldn't make a mistake now, but I believe I'm a whole lot less likely. But what I have right now is in my backstock supply, I have about 100 pounds poured into ingots. I have about another 40 to 50 pounds already molded into different size bullets, different calibers, different sizes. I also have about 200 pounds of sorted out wheel weights already. And I also have somewhere in the neighborhood of a ton that's not been sorted through. I've got a lot of lead, a lot of lead. Now, the bad thing about the lead situation is back years ago, didn't really have to worry about lead because you could go to any tire shop and get lead. Now most of the wheel weights are zinc, and when you go to try to get lead, you don't get lead, you get mostly zinc now. Probably, I'm going to say 30% might be lead. And every time you go back, it's going to be smaller because they don't make lead wheel weights anywhere now. So what's out there is out there. So that's why I say if you get it, hang on to it, because it gets worth more every day. But guys, I just wanted to show you in this what was the first step that we're going to do here to get ready to start reloading ammo for this HWM 357 Magnum 38 Special. And this is it. We're going to take this sorted lead right there, and we're going to turn it into some beautiful bullets for a 357 Magnum. And we'll probably use some of these to also make some bullets for what we just got in, which is a 450 Bushmaster, which is an odd size. It's a 4.52 instead of 4.58 like a 4570. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to go about do that, and cast some and powder coat them and go from there, because it's going to be in a Axis rifle, and they're going to have to be just fit good, because that gun's going to be kicking them at about 2,500 feet a second. But I didn't get into these. We will get into these later when I talk about fishing weights, but that's what these are. These are going to be fishing weights. These are all very, very soft lead. I use these for fishing weights, for shotgun slugs, for muzzleloaders, bullets, or for shot that goes in shotgun shells. Don't use these for anything that I'm going to be pushing modern powder behind, because it's just not hard enough. These, I'm telling you, they're hard enough. These will not be hard enough. People will argue with you over that. Believe me when I say this, do your own experimenting. Don't listen to people. Don't take my word for it. Reload. Don't ever take somebody else's word for what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing it. You're going to be the one that needs to be safe about it. Do your own experimenting. See what you come up with. Don't listen to other people. Use books and get as much information as you can. When it comes to these bullets, you're going to have to experiment some, because you're going to find stuff that works and you're going to find stuff that don't. Y'all, this is a Fat Man. This video 2 of the HWM 357 Magnum. I hope to see y'all out there somewhere. This is Fat Man, and I'm gone.